Hello, people. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. So, today in our class, we will talk about first and second conditional in English language. Um, and this is a subject that it's uh, more related to is a grammar subject, but of course I will bring the grammar structures, but I will show you these grammar structures in texts and real texts and how they work, their meanings, and so on and so forth. So let's start. The first conditional, we use the first conditional when we talk about future situations that we believe are real or possible. So, in first conditional sentence, the structure is usually if or when plus present simple or simple present, uh, will plus infinitive, right? And here we have some examples. If it doesn't rain tomorrow, we'll go to the beach. And as you can see, doesn't is the contract form of does not, and will is we will. So it's the future. It's also the contract form. Arsenal will be the top of the league if they win. So as you can see, Arsenal. We have here the logo of the Ars. And it's another thing. It's important to pay attention to cultural knowledge. So what the hell is Arsenal? Arsenal is a English football team. For those one who don't know. And when I finish work, I'll call you. So when I finish work, I will call you. It's interesting just to talk about the first conditional. Also, we have the zero conditional that relates to things that can happen and usually happen, right? But we'll be focused on first conditional, second, and third. This class is first and second, and we go after that. But the thing I want to say is that when you talk about conditional, uh, when we go to Brazilian Portuguese, we have this tense called futuro do pretérito. So to me always sounds weird. Future of the past, whatever. Actually, is the conditional. Okay, and the if sentence, the if clause, as they say, or rank clause, is related to subjunctive mode in Brazilian Portuguese, because we have the conjunctive mode and the subjunctive mode. So when you're talking about conditional, we are talking about this situation. Now we go to the second conditional, and this is an important thing to tell you too. Second conditional is the one that, at least at my knowledge, are is commonly found in English language texts. Okay, the second conditional is used to imagine present or future situations that are impossible, hypothetical, or unlikely in reality. So this is why the name is conditional, because it's related to a condition to happen. So the structure is usually if plus past simple or simple past, doesn't matter the name, would plus infinitive. And here we have some examples. If we had a garden, we could have a cat. So it means that the person does not have other people, because it's we. The people don't have a garden, so they don't have a cat because they cannot have a cat in an apartment, in their point of view. Some people might disagree with that. The second, if I want a lot of money, I'd buy a big house in the country. Pay attention to this contract form. I'd is the contract form of I would buy a big house in the country. And you see here the picture of the house. And just pay attention also to the translation, because country, when you say here in this context, country means countryside. So means smaller cities, not bigger cities. So we have to pay attention to the different meanings the same word can have in English language. And the third sentence, I wouldn't worry if I were you. So I would not worry if I were you. So there is also an expression in English, if I was in your shoes, or if I were in your shoes. Uh, so this person say he or she wouldn't be worried if they were the people they were talking about. So here we have more about the second condition. When if is followed by the verb to be, it is grammatically correct to say if I were, if he were, if she were, and if it were. However, it's also common to hear these structures with was, especially in the he, she form. So this is what I talk to you about grammar. Sometimes people pay attention too much to grammar structures, and they forget that language is was developed, and is developed to communication. So it doesn't matter if you use was or were if you give the information. Okay? So the first one, if I were you, I wouldn't mention it. I would not mention it. If she was prime minister, she would invest more money in schools. And here we have a picture of the New Zealand prime minister, Jacinda Ardern. She is now very famous because she's taking the lead of her country, and all the world's paying attention to her, different for other countries that we don't need to talk about now. And the third one, he would travel more if he was younger. And as you can see, all the situations, they must need a condition to happen. So this is why can be impossible, hypothetical, or unlikely to happen. And here to talk about the second conditional, I brought to you here the song If by Roger Waters. And I want to talk, and as you can see, the whole song is structured in second conditional. Uh, and it has one part that it can be first conditional, but we can discuss this later. But I want to point out two things here about vocabulary here. They say here, if I were a song, I'd be gone, and wires in my brain. Okay, so first of all, Roger Waters was the bass player and one of the found members of Pink Floyd, a psychedelic rock band from the 60s. So he say here, if I were a song, I'd be gone. So if I were a song, I would be gone. And he make reference to the expression swan song, because it said that a swan is a kind of bird. A swan just sings when it dies, or when it's close to death, of course, because he cannot sing if he's it cannot sing if it's dead, right? So swan song means is a metaphor for farewell. So when you say if I release my last book is my swan song, so it's my farewell. And wires in my brain is related to the traditional treatment for crazy people. So they put wires in the brain and give a electroshock on people's head to calm them down. Nowadays, the people are more into medicine than this. And for closing, we have here the expression home and dry. And this is why important for you to know the context and cultural knowledge, because you if you translate literally home and dry, you don't get the real meaning of the expression. And the expression home and dry, we could it means that you are safe, that you don't have problems, that you are okay. And this is an expression, is a British expression, because in London, London is the capital of England. In London, it rains a lot. So it's very common to people who are going out working or doing whatever, they get wet. So when you mean you are home and dry, it means that you are not outside the streets having in the rain, getting wet. So home and dry is a expression that relates to be uh, easy, no problem. So it's an expression that could not be developed in Salvador, for instance, because it doesn't rain that much. So it wouldn't make no sense if you translate literally for other contexts. Okay, so this is for our class today. Hope to see you soon. And I hope all of you stay home and dry. And see you later. Bye.